Hello and welcome to this video. This is Doc Holiday here with a 4v4 on the Homestead map, I believe it is, for Napoleon Total War. I will be joined by, doesn't have a list, but it'll be Elite Legionnaire as France, although I think he is I think he is this France over here. There's Honor Guard as the French in the middle, and Blue Bottle over here as the Spanish. So actually it's actually a fairly long game. Most Napoleon Total War games tend to be fairly lengthy, particularly when it's a 4v4 like this. So I'm playing as the British, and I have two French allies in the Spanish, and it's actually interesting. I bought the Peninsula Campaign expansion pack not long ago, and I think Blue Bottle must have done the same, because the Spanish get these guerrilla units that can deploy outside the deployment zone, and a map like this it's actually quite handy because you see the map's kind of lots of rolling hills and choke points, like for example in here you've got a hill there to protect your flank, so you can deploy units along here, but also it can interrupt lines of fire, and I think that happens a few times in this battle where you don't have a clear line of sight to the target, and part of your units or part of your fire will hit the hill. Anyway, things, I think we're getting underway fairly quickly. I just have a wee outline of my army. What have I got? Rifles, some light foot. I might have had 2 rifles and 2 light foot, I suspect, because I think the rules were no artillery, 5 or 4 lights. Coldstream Guard, a foot guard, and a lot of foot, I think, is the rest. And there's the Connaught Ranger in there as well. Now what did I have for Cav? No, I think the general, here we are, we've got 15th Hussars, Royal Scots Grey, and a Life Guard. So a fair bit of light cavalry as well, and I see there's another rifle over here. So I think the general plan was that I was going to advance with my infantry up to the middle and hold, I was trying to get up to about where these logs are roughly, and or even, because I thought this Austrian player here would advance, but he didn't, so I ended up going a little bit further. But anyway, I'd split most of my cav with the Elite Legionnaire over here, and we'd do a combined cav strike out on this flank and try to take out the Prussians quickly, and then we'd be able to just roll down their line essentially. So that was the plan. And Honor Guard was just, Honor Guard and Blue Bottle were just going to try hold the line down here, while Elite Legionnaire concentrated all our cav on one flank on the far right. We'll just see what Blue Bottle's doing down here. It's always the hard thing with these 4v4s, trying to catch all the action at once, particularly on the big battlefields, and things can happen quite quickly. So I think Elite Legionnaire is doing a video on this. I'm not sure if he's done it already or not, but if he does, I'll upload a link in the description just so you get it from his perspective as well, and you just get more of the battle, because it is quite difficult to cover everything that happens just in one view. I mean, things are happening fairly slowly at the moment, but they do get underway fairly intensely eventually, so it'll be hard to cover absolutely everything. So we're just moving up at the moment, and I guess I've kind of mentioned it before with this battlefield. You can see especially here, like there's a big ravine running through here, lots of choke points. I'm bringing my rifles up ideally along just on top of this hill here. I see the Austrian player, what's he got? He's got some Landschützen and some Jägers, so I think the Jägers are good, but the Landschützen are not that great skirmishers. They're pretty much militia skirmishers. They're not terrible, but they're probably the worst skirmishers in the game, I think. But they are cheap though. They are cheap. So he's probably where else has he spent his money? He has a lot of infantry: Hungarian Grenadiers, German Fusiliers, Hungarian Fusiliers, 47th Czech. I'm surprised he doesn't have the other 2 specialist Austrian line regiments. I think there's the Emperor's Own and the Archduke Charles. I think I normally always take them. Oh, he's got some more cavalry over here. Uhlans, Cuirassiers. Right, so he's got quite a large army actually, this Austrian player. But here we are. Elite Legionnaire. Is he still moving up? No, he's not. He's probably going to be careful with his Voltigeurs here, because they will be outranged by these Prussian Fusiliers. He's got a few of those, but if he can move up to the woods here, that will help a lot. It'll give him some cover as he moves up to a closer range. But I've also got my rifles up here ready to support him in the skirmish fight if he needs it. Let's see what else I'm doing. Here we are, I'm advancing. In fact, I might even be running I'm always a little bit cautious about running because it gets me tired. So I'm advancing everything up to the middle here. My skirmishers are probably a little bit too far forward. Do I have any cavalry nearby? So you have to always be careful of that. Moving your skirmishers up too quickly without cavalry support. If you have enemy cavalry, you might be able to run them down. So here we are, moving up some of my lifeguards over here as well. Actually, I'll just double speed it. And I have a unit of foot and another unit of foot actually back as well to. It's going a bit slow there. To move up into this gap, up along this hill here, to help Elite Legionary if he needs it. Which I think the plan was to kind of put the squeeze on the Prussian player first. So I think that's what we'll be doing. Over on this side of the field, what's Blue Bottle doing? I see he's lining up on some of his grenadiers, balloon guards. He's got quite a few. He's got 2 balloon guards there. I thought he could only have 1. Oh, he's definitely got 2. And some grenadiers, and some more grenadiers. So he's got quite an elite force on the left flank there. Ideally, I think you'd probably send those guys through the forest so they can engage in melee, taking fewer casualties. Because if you run your guys through the forest, they've got cover, so they won't take as many casualties if you're going to charge them in when they go in. So I'm moving my rifles up here because I see this Austrian player has these Windbüchägers, which are a very expensive unit. I think they're 1,200 and more than some cavalry. And actually, I should just go back to normal speed here. They're shooting up. We're trying to shoot up his Voltigeur. So I'm going to move my rifles up here, and I'm going to have a few shots at him as he runs back. I think it was very sensible of him to do that, to run back, because he would have been under too much fire. And I started shooting some of his guys, but I only get 2, so it's not really a big deal. But they can really dish out a real mauling. I think in the last video I uploaded, I had a unit of those. So I was playing Austria, and in about a few seconds, I had taken a unit of dragoons down to well below half strength. They can be really brutal if they're left alone. You can imagine that like against a unit of guards, they can cut them down really quickly. But there aren't many men in the unit, and they're super vulnerable to cavalry, even light infantry fire. That's just not worth trading shots with them because they're so expensive. But if they're used right, they can be quite effective. And also they have the ability to they can move and remain hidden. I don't think they can run. They can still walk though, and they can remain hidden if they're in a wood. So they're good kind of ambush troops. But you don't want to use them in a stand-up fight because it's just not worth it. You're better off with a unit of Jaegers or something if you want to do that. Anyway, so I start moving two units of foot up around on this hill to accompany my lifeguards and my rifles that are already there. And the plan is definitely now just to hold this line that I've got here. I think the plan, here we are, moving up some of these rifles. I think eventually I'll move them up along this hill here and might put down some stakes. So these hills are really good for anchoring your flank. And also Polish Legion, that's the one. Polish Legion over here, if anything untoward happens on my flank, he'll be able to move up and cover me. While I move up and help support Elite Legionari's attack over here. Now here we are, my Royal Scots Greys and my 15th Hussars are over here ready to support, and I've also got my lifeguards here as well, ready to swing in down here if the opportunity arises. So actually let's see if there's anything going on over here. Oh, here we are, I think something's on it, that's a Spanish unit. So it's a bit of a stalemate over here still, I think, and the skirmish fight hasn't started quite yet. The Blue Bottle is 1 unit of skirmishers, and I think the Prussian will have more. I can't see any more Blue Bottle skirmishers. Cazadores, I think they are skirmishers, so it's got at least 2 there, I think. And he's got some infantry back behind here as well. Polish Legion still, yeah, we're all still pretty static. They actually might, although here we are, things are heating up here a bit. So the skirmish has started. Yep, and Elite Legionary very sensibly moved up through the forest. So you would have had a bit of cover as he closed in with those Prussian Fusiliers, because I think they do have a longer range than he does. But they are quite tough, the Voltigeur. They take quite a bit of a beating. And right here we're we're getting ready for a flank attack. He's massing his cavalry and I've got mine as well. Where are we? I've still got my rifles here, they're not firing. I think I suppose if that he has had some Silesian Schutzen here covering those Windbeshagers, so that's probably why I'm a bit hesitant. I think here we are. I end up moving them into the forest. He's moving his cavalry forward here, but I'm not too concerned because I have my lifeguards here. I know they should be able to deal with these Uhlans. Well, not easily, but yeah, well, they shouldn't have too much trouble with them. So here is Elite Legionaries unit of Polish Legion. A little bit confusing because there's a guy called Polish Legion. Here we are, I see his Uhlans charging my rifles. Do I see it in time? Oh, not quite. Oh, maybe. And I get my lifeguards to counter-charge there. I'm not sure how many of my rifles actually survived. There's still 53 left, so most of them did survive. Here we are. My lifeguards counter-charge his Uhlans, yeah, and they're going to mop them up pretty handily. And he's got his Windbeshagers here as well. And he's moving forward a lot of units, so I'm just going to form up my lines along this hill and just shoot him, really. I mean, that's what the British line do best. So I'm trying to form a straight line here, and I'm quite happy to let my lifeguards fight it out there. I'm not sure I don't think I can go into square quite yet. I just stay in line there. I think ideally, well, I suppose I didn't want to go into square because of these Hungarian Grenadiers coming up. So I rout one of his Uhlans. I hear probably not in the best situation. I probably should pull up and line directly up with this unit here. I'm in 3 ranks deep. Ideally, when you're shooting, you want to be in 2 ranks deep. But here he's got his Grenadiers and he's chucking some grenades. I probably should have seen this, but I didn't. And, it actually looks very cool when they all go off, but not so cool if you're that British line infantry unit that got blown up. So it does quite a bit of damage. I think I probably should have been running them there, but I'm just walking for some reason. I don't know why. So my lifeguards managed to finish off both those Uhlans, and I charged them in, but he formed square. So I think, if I'm rightly, I changed targets, and I see these Windbeshagers all out by themselves, no cavalry supply. They've got this free corps there, so I don't think they're going to get there in time. So I charged my lifeguards into those Windbeshagers and pretty much wiped them out. And that's a very expensive and valuable unit that we've taken out early. And there's actually moved up a little bit here up to this. See, the Austrian player didn't move forward, so I took this ground here where the trees are, and I've got some right foot here, and I'm shooting to his flank down here. And I'm hoping that this hill will afford me some protection if he brings his skirmishers here forward, because he only has limited arcs of fire due to that hill. See, all those skirmishers shooting there, they wouldn't have hit anything.
Our men are running,
because the hill was in the way. And one of my, I think it was my cavalry that was routing right then. But see, I managed to rout his Hungarian Grenadiers with these 2 units of line infantry. They're very effective, those line, and also the fact that I'm shooting him from the rear will hurt his morale a lot more. So I think we're about to do the cavalry. Maybe we're about to do the cavalry strike. It's still kind of skirmishing at the moment. He's just lost a militia unit, but that's of real no consequence. One thing I was a little bit surprised about actually is that everyone kept to the rules. No one bought artillery, which is always nice. You kind of expect people to break the rules, but that was nice that they didn't. I have to keep watching this point here because I know we're going to make an artillery, a cavalry strike at some point. But I better just go down the line here and see what's happening. He's advancing some of his Landschützen. Maybe they ran out of ammunition? I don't know why exactly. Or maybe they just glitched. I've had that a couple of times where you tell them to shoot but they advance. My line's starting to crack here, I see. One of my units is broken and I've got these units here pressing down on me. I do, however, have these rifles in the forest here, which I can use to offer support to either our Elite Legionarii. I think I am. I'm using them to shoot down his flank here. We're not quite in the position to cavalry charge yet. I don't think our Elite Legionary is moving down. Better see, is there anything going on over here that I missed? Oh, they're up to skirmishing over there. And Polish Legion's moving forward to engage his French opponent. And we have movement here. Here we are. This is the Kiev battle that's about to start, I think. Or maybe it's not. I think I might pull back from this. Yeah, I don't think we decide not to go in there. One thing I'm surprised he didn't do here, I'm surprised he didn't charge me actually. Or maybe I charge him. I charge him. And I've got these rifles here in support. But he's shooting me with his Silesian Schutzen and Prussian Fusilier. But they're distracting this Austrian army and part of this Prussian army as well.
Our men are running, sir.
And my light foot here in the middle, they've broken. But we've dished out quite a bit of punishment on this Austrian army. And I've still got a fair decent part of my army left. I've still got these guards back here, and these rifles, and some more rifles, 2 units of rifles actually. I probably should have focused a bit more on this, because there was a bit of a fight down here as well. Right, some units in the trees here. And my foot is still charging on with these rifles in support. But I really should have probably changed the targets of these rifles to these Fusiliers over here. Help the Legionnaire out a bit. Oh, here we are. Sorry, I might have just missed the great cavalry charge. It's looking like a bit more of a brawl at the moment, actually. A little bit vulgar. Ideally, I think I probably should have had some of my cavalry wrap around behind. But I might have just kind of panicked to charge them all in, I think, is what probably happened. But nonetheless, they're all in there fighting. And I'm pretty sure we do break through eventually. It's been a bit of a grind on the side, I think. Elite Legionnaire just wearing our Prussian opponent down, but we do manage to break these cavalry units. There's some dragoons that are gone, and I mentioned the other dragoons won't be far behind. You see Elite Legionnaire shooting them from behind, and that'll hurt their morale quite a lot. So it shouldn't be long before these units break, and then we've got all our cavalry free to swing around this way. In fact, I'll try to get a close up. I probably should have done that before, but some other bags of it. Also, I think sometimes the shouting drowns out my voice a bit, so no one can hear what I say when I zoom in. And we've got more men running. Okay, let's see. So I'm kind of peeling off some of my troops to fight this advancing Austrian army. Oh, I see. I've still got a unit of foot in here. I didn't even notice. So I have a unit of foot here. I knew I had something in here. A unit of foot in these trees, firing out at these Austrians, and they're going to be fairly well covered from fire. And I bring my general up. This is something that is really useful to do. Bring your general up, and you use the Inspire ability, so they fight better. Particularly at a key point like this. I think this unit of foot, that's the star there, so I just did it. This is a really key point, because unless he comes around this way, he won't be able to outflank me, and if he does come around this way, I've got some guards and some Connaught Rangers that will intercept him. So this is kind of like an anchor point for the battle here, and so if I give him the Inspire ability, they'll fight a lot better, and it's going to be a huge help. So he's moving up some Hungarian Fusilier up through this gap here, but I don't think I'm too worried, unless he turns on my flank and starts shooting from the flank. That could be a bit of a nuisance, but I know he charges in. I don't know if I managed to get a counter charge or not. But they're in the woods, so they'll hold against the cavalry. Those Hungarian Fusiliers are fairly tough, but I've got more men. So and then they also got the Inspire ability on them, so I'm fairly confident I should be able to win that. Now, let's see what's going on over here. That's right, we've broken through, and Elite Legionnaire and I are just charging our cavalry straight through. I think I go after some of the Chasseurs Cheval with my 13th Hussars.
We've killed their general, sir. Now they must.
My Royal Scots Greys are fighting here, and someone's general just died. It's the Austrian general. That's right, he charged his general into my foot in here. So we're fighting. Where are we? General Staff, Hungarian Fusilier. So my foot, they've taken quite a few casualties actually there. They were at 100 before, now they're down to 67. And there's still quite a few Hungarian Fusilier left. So yeah, they're dishing out a fair beating. So here we are, I'm bringing up even more. I'm bringing up my Connaught Rangers now to help fight these guys, but they're mostly breaking now, so I don't need it. My rifles here are just skirmishing, and I've got my guards in reserve. If they do a rush, I'll be ready for them. Let's see what's going on over here. Here we are, all the battles started a bit more in earnest over here. The Prussian is charged into Elite Legionnarii. They're getting routed. And I see his grenadiers are throwing some grenades into these Jaegers. And oh, he's charging his cavalry forward into those stakes, but that's never a good idea. I think he sees what's about to happen and he very wisely turns them back. I think stakes can be a little bit hard to see in this game sometimes, and you'll run your cavalry about, but you won't realise that they're about to get horribly murdered. So with this part of battle won, I'm able to swing around my forces and focus now on the rest of the Austrian army. So I think the key thing there was having my units in this forest here, using the Inspire ability and just forming a line along the bottom of this hill through to this forest, which shielded my flank, so anything he had down here wouldn't be able to engage me because nothing would hit because of this hill. So he either had to come round along here and get shot by me, or round along the other side, in which case I had rifles and also some guard units here to intercept him if he did.
Our men are running for.
And in a straight firefight, the British foot, I think they're the best in the game really. And so we've mopped up the Prussian forces over here, Elite Legionary and I think my cavalry have pretty much... Oh no, I've still got one unit going. They died gloriously, the other one, I think. Here we are, I charged. Probably shouldn't have charged through my own line of fire, not the best idea, because you shoot your own guys as they go in. I think here we are, I tell them to advance now so I don't shoot my own men. So the plan pretty much worked as we'd hoped. I had my cavalry and 2 of my infantry over here helping Elite Legionarii. We tried to beat down the Prussian force as fast as we could, although it was still fairly slow, but Blue Bottle over has a Spanish over here has kind of been skirmishing with the Prussian, although maybe not skirmishing because it has been a little bit intense. There's certainly a lot of dead bodies over here. Yeah, I don't think that was a skirmish, just looking at all that. But the Prussian player decides to pull back, and the French player in the middle, yeah, I think this is perhaps a little bit more of a skirmish. Polish Legion, and I don't know who this other French player is, I can't remember. But the 2 French players in the middle perhaps had a little bit more of a skirmishy fight than we did. The side of the battle I think is completely done. So now we're just rolling down the flank. I might double speed it now a little bit. He's got under square here, but probably shoot him really. I could charge him, but I think it's just best to use, if you've got more firepower, just use it. And so he'll only be able to bring half quarter. I mean, I suppose it's 1 quarter facing that way and 1 quarter facing that way. So he'll be able to use half of his firepower when I get all of mine. But yeah, that then breaks. So I think we know the battle's over now because both Elite Legionary and I have mopped off our opponents, and it's just a matter of rolling down the flank right down here, which I'm about to do. I'm running up my rifle, so I'd better shoot down the flank here and free up Honor Guard, and then we'll march over and finish off the Prussians. So maybe still action going on. I'll just keep it at double speed. I won't triple speed it quite yet, but I'm going to get some flank shots here. Might actually put it back to normal speed because it's going a bit slow. It's funny, when you speed it up sometimes it goes a bit jerky and a bit slower, which is a bit odd. And he's trying to face me here, but we've got too much firepower, I think. There's Polish Legion firing at him down here. Yeah, I've got all my skirmishers, foot, my cornet rangers, and some guards. Yeah, there's really nothing you can do about it, to be honest. So once again, in this battle, this is as in the last battle, I got a wee bit trounced, I think. Well, not completely trounced, but I certainly didn't have anything left at the end of the game. It didn't go that well, mainly because of lack of teamwork, but I think this video shows what good teamwork can do. Polish Legion and half my army holding, with the other, well maybe not half, but a good size of my army going to help Elite Legionarii win his fight. I think the Austrian player made a bit of a mistake not moving up. He could have easily taken this kind of hill and wooded area, and it would have been a good spot for him to try and force me back. If he had these 2 wooded areas here, had some skirmishes in them, wouldn't have been as easy for me. I think right there was quite a strong position for me to be in, and it just allowed me to pretty much fight the whole Austrian army with not my whole army, well, probably more than half of my army, but certainly I had a lot of units over fighting with Elite Legionarii over here, helping win his fight. But yeah, that hill and the 2 woods certainly helped a lot when I was facing the Austrian army. So we get rid of this French army here, and now it's on to the Prussians. No, we'll triple speed it. It's almost a bit of a mad dash actually to try and get over and see who can get the glory first. Oh, that's still going a little bit laggy. But yeah, we'll run our troops over, but they're all very tired by the time they get there, so they do run a bit slower. But here we are. It's a mad dash for glory to see who can get to grips with the Prussians first, who have retreated to the edge of the map, which is a bit odd. Here we are. Allied general killed. I think this might have been the stakes. I think that might be it there. That's probably his general there. See, that's the thing about stakes. Often you don't realise that they're there, especially when there aren't any enemy units behind the stakes. Because if there's some skirmishers, generally you'll check to see if there's stakes in front of them, but if there aren't any units there, you often just forget about them, and you'll run units around, and sometimes you run into them, and you'll think, what? How did my general just die? And, oh dear, there's stakes there. Well, that's unfortunate. So they can hide fairly well, those stakes. And it can lead to some unexpected surprises. So it's really we've got most of our armies intact. I mean, if you look at Elite Legionaries' army, still fairly well intact. My army still fairly well intact. Polish Legion's army very well intact, and Blue Bottle's army still fairly well intact. Although it looks like there was a bit of quite a bit of a battle over here. Lots of dead cavalry, lots of dead Prussians and Spanish, I think. Here we are, we're all running in as fast as we can. I'm still quite a while away actually. And Polish Legion here is just going to start the fight. I wish you could skip whole parts of it, because this is just us really running up, trying to finish off the Prussians. Yeah, and I'm still up the rear here. I think I might actually be walking, because I see that there's certainly I'm probably not even going to have any space to engage him. There's not going to be enough frontage for us to all fire at him, so I just quietly march on behind. So yeah, in this battle, Blue Bottle and Polish Legion here did quite a good holding action, and half of my army held and the other half helped Elite Legionari win. The terrain was a big advantage for me, was used quite well, and the use of the Inspire ability, really good for a really key moment in the fight where you need a unit to do better. Running your general up and using the Inspire ability is a good thing to do. It can be a bit risky if you get your general too close to the fight and they charge him with some cavalry and kill him. It does give a morale penalty. Maybe we should just go to double speed now. Here we are. It's almost a bit of a mad dash to see who can finish him off first. I think we end up getting in each other's way a bit and causing some friendly fire, I suspect. Now I'm running up. Well, you see our units are all very tired. Well, I suppose being tired only affects your melee, I think. I don't think it affects your shooting. But certainly, it does mean you break quicker.
Is soon to be yours.
There we are. Glorious victory is soon to be ours. So the Prussian players very bravely fighting to the end. I know it's actually good of them to do that. There are quite a few people who would sometimes in this situation just leave, which is a bit disappointing. But he fights to the end, so good lad. It's good when people do that and not just leave when things start going not very well. Yeah, this is what I mean here. I think this might be. Alright, we'll just always go back to normal speed. He was kind of wheeling his young guard around in the middle there. I don't quite know what that was about. I think that might have been Polish Legion, or actually I don't know, or it could have been Elite Legionary. I'm not sure. But it was always we were just charge in, I think. I'm lining up behind him because I know that if I try to shoot him, I'll just end up shooting my allies, so there's not much point. I'll just stay back here and give moral support. So all the guards here are a little bit clumped up. perhaps should have gone for a bit more of an even charge. So he's got some young guards, some old guards, some Polish Legion. And they're all kind of clumped up. It's generally not the best way to do things. It's generally best to have a bit more of like an even charge. I mean, I can understand why it's happening though, because you've got so many people on his own team trying to assault this position that I suppose it's inevitable that it would happen. That's probably also partly the AI behaviour as well. Just clumping up. Yeah, I moved some of my rifles forward, but they're just getting in the... Oh no, they're okay, because the light infantry, you can put them in front of line units and they can shoot through them. But it doesn't work the other way around though, so you can't have line infantry in front of the skirmish unit, because the skirmish unit will cause casualties on the line infantry, but you can have your line infantry in front of you can have your skirmishers in front of the line infantry, and the line infantry will shoot through the skirmishers. But here he moves up, so I have to move my rifles up. But if we do shoot though, I mean, we're just going to be hitting our own men, so it's a bit of a mad melee going on in here. So I don't think the Prussian will hold out too much longer. So we'll just go back to double speed, I think. And there's a big cavalry charge from Blue Bottle, and that finishes off the Prussian. So that's the game, guys. Actually, I think it is. It should be coming up. The game's finished any second now. Here we are, victory. So it was a good game with Elite Legionarii, Polish Legion and Blue Bottle, and Lucas Shots, LE, Skeleton, and yeah, I'm not going to try to pronounce the third name. It's a bit of an odd name, but anyway, teamwork really important. In fact, in any Total War game that isn't a 1v1, teamwork is always really important. I mean, I've done a few videos with Elite Legionarii, and I think if there's any common theme through them, it's that teamwork is really important. But I'm not trying to be this isn't me gloating so much, but I can't think of many battles that Elite Legionarii and I have lost together just because teamwork is so important. I mean, we do lose from time to time, but when we do like a team battles and we work together, it just increases your chance of winning so much, and it's so vital to winning a multiplayer game of any Total War, really. And we do tend to win most of the battles that we do, and I do try to upload all the battles that I do, not just the wins, but even the ones where I get trashed, which might have been the one beforehand. We did manage to win it in the end, but that was due to our ally pulling through in the end. I certainly got fairly massacred in the last battle I uploaded. But yeah, we'll actually have a quick look at the unit statistics. We'll put them in kill order. Oops, move that back up. So a unit of light foot and a unit of foot, 176 and 161 respectively. I suspect that they were the units that were... Can I move the map around? I can't get rid of this bit in the middle. Maybe I can look on the edge of the screen. Here we are. I think this might be it over here with this hill and this bit of trees here. I suspect the light foot was one of the units that was behind this hill shooting... Oops, I'm zooming in the map. Shooting down the flank of these units here with the Austrians. And it is holding that position there was quite effective, really. And where am I? How did my cavalry do? Well, my 15th Hussars got 155, that's quite good. I think all my units just actually did really well. My light foot 94 there, and the Royal Scots Grey 69. I thought at the time that those light cavalry units didn't do that well. They seemed a bit kind of... They didn't die quickly, but they seemed a bit of a throwaway, but it doesn't seem to be the case here. They got quite a few kills. My guards actually didn't end up doing that much. They didn't lose that many, but they got a few kills. Where are we? So we've got the results. I think, where are we? Elite Legionarii. Enemy killed 1,098. Doc Holiday 1,441. Polish Legion 1,174, and Blue Bottle 553. I think Blue Bottle's a bit newer to this game than some of the other people here, but yeah, he still did pretty well. He certainly held his own against that Prussian force. And I think we're probably playing against players who kind of know what they're doing, I think, so I think Blue Bottle did pretty well. And we've got another, I think I have another game which I also play as Britain. I'll be uploading that soon, hopefully, where Blue Bottle plays with us as well. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. It was a pretty good battle. It went well for me at least, and just really showing the value of teamwork there. I think it's a common theme of all the videos I do with the Elite Legionnaire or any multiplayer ones, that teamwork wins games. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.